goes another 20-year-old.
Holy shit, I hate those guys.
Gotta hate 20-year-olds.
Fuck those guys.
Somebody help these 20-year-olds.
It's time to figure it out, Ricky.
Touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. What up, cucks? We're on Too Many Jams. Get off your phones, guys. All right. This is a family pod. Family-friendly pod.
Is it?
Phones on the table.
Last time I checked.
It was cuck friendly.
It was cuck-friendly.
Mm.
It's funny that cuck isn't a swear word, but fuck is. Too Many Jams. It's
Cuff.
a show about all things 20-year-olds. What did you say?
Cuff off, man.
Cuff off? What does that mean?
It's just fuck backwards.
Oh. Too Many Jams, a show about all things 20-year-olds with help from friends, experts, and our own personal experiences. We hope to shed some light on those issues that leave our age group lost and confused. Today, we are joined by our roommate, friend, confidant, life coach, female interpreter,
Absolutely.
Psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
and total lesbian, Kristen Mandela. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for that glorious introduction.
We have a few sponsors we need to mention first. We're sipping some lovely
True history.
Kristen isn't because she's drinking wine.
Mhm.
But
True history wine.
True History now makes wine.
Coming to you in a LCBO
2022?
soon.
2065.
2065? No, we're drinking some True History Farmer in the Sky. It's in over 100 LCBOs. If you follow at True History Brewing, go to their webpage and all that stuff. They'll tell you where it is. It's so good. Our friends make it. Support them. We love it. Also, I'm wearing wrist and rye. It's male jewelry. We have...
What is gender, really?
You're right. Sorry. It's jewelry that pee-pee havers wear a lot. And there's a promo code JAMS15 for anyone that listens to the pod. But also Black Friday's coming up, so keep your eye out if you want some deals for the Christmas period. Otherwise, let's get into the podcast. Today, Kristen is going to help us talk about social media because we've watched her do some pretty cool stuff recently. She started a new Instagram account called The Greener Good, which kind of surrounds a business idea she has for eco consulting she's talked about in previous episodes. But it's been really cool to see how you've grown this in such a short period of time. Like
Thanks.
I'd say like a little bit exponentially. Like it's getting way more activity than your normal accounts did.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the thing is that I started actually about a year ago. So I'm at like my year anniversary. So this is actually quite nice, full circle moment. But
Today?
I don't know.
A year ago?
A year ago, yeah, November 2018. Remember when we all went for coffee at that Aroma at that?
Yeah, and you're
And you made us take
I was
pictures
wearing the
of
same
you?
white
You were
sweater.
literally wearing the
Holy
same sweater.
shit. Was I wearing this shirt too?
No.
I don't know.
Nobody
I
remembers
was.
your reference.
Because they're all gray. They
Yeah,
all look the
it's
same. 50
true.
Shades of Gray is what I'd name my closet.
But literally, it was about a year ago and I took a few pictures, but I found it really hard to stay motivated. And I kind of had a little bit of imposter syndrome right at the beginning where I was like, I don't really know what information I can bring to the table that is unique from other people's. So it really slowed down. I honestly didn't post more than like once every few weeks for those first few months. So obviously my growth was quite slow. And then I decided in the summer to kind of just pick my bootstraps up. Pick my boots up
Pick
by their
yourself
strap.
up
Yeah.
by the bootstraps?
Yeah,
Pull your
something like
socks
that.
up.
Yeah, all those. And I kind of was just like, okay, if I actually want this to become something, I have to show up for it and show up kind of for myself because it was something that I saw more value in. I saw people having a really nice response to what I was sharing and kind of just like my general presence, which was really exciting. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to actually go for it and post at least 3 to 4 times a week, even if I'm having kind of a crappy week and I'm not being super productive with my Greener Good consulting stuff. That's the bare minimum of what I'm going to do. And I stuck to that. And I was always really good about responding to messages, responding to DMs, responding to comments, being kind of engaging that way. When I was kind of on Instagram, I tried to make it more of like, okay, I'm actually going to be productive. I'm not just going to scroll, even though that obviously sometimes still happens because that's like how it's built. But I tried to be a little bit more intentional with how I was using it and it started to pick up. So I went from like only a few hundred subscribers, followers, and now I'm at like 1,1600, which is like pretty small still. But I think in the rate that I've been going and how I've been doing it, like the past even two or 3 months, most of that has come out of the last 3 months, I'd say.
Well, it kind of happened real quick where it went from like you said, 2-3 months ago, you'd get 5 comments
Yeah.
to 60
Mhm.
comments on some of them.
Yeah. People
30 to
really,
40
really
on-
like to engage.
They're really engaged with what you have to write, and you're getting followers weekly to the point where if you just keep it up, you'll
Mhm.
have a big account in a matter of,
Yeah. The next few months.
next
hopefully.
few months,
Yeah.
and especially because the more you get, probably the quicker it grows too.
Definitely. And I've been finding a lot more too, as soon as you kind of reach a certain threshold, I imagine it for me will be like once I have a few thousand followers, but it kind of reaches like this point of validation where people really trust you as a voice. But one thing that I started out from the beginning and one thing that I kind of promised myself was I didn't really want it to be based in ego at all. Like I wanted to just, even if I had 300 followers, I wanted to provide the same amount of content and information and take it as seriously as I would if I had like 3 million. Like I didn't really want the brand, like how I wanted to present myself to be different at all. And I think that's why I've had really great like community kind of branch out of it, is because I'm not really being like, okay, I'll do all these things that are kind of exploiting my whatever to get a lot of followers, and then I'll post a lot of really good information or whatever once I get to that point. I was just like, no, every single post I want to be like informative and actually like valuable to whoever is following me, regardless of whether that's like 5, 15, whatever, how many people. And I think that's why I've actually remained pretty dedicated to it, because it's really, I don't know, it's exciting and it's rewarding.
I think it's important that people take themselves seriously even before they have the followers too. Like, take yourself seriously or else no one else will.
Yeah, totally. And you kind of have to like, I don't believe in like faking it till you make it. Like I already am the same person regardless of however many followers I have, but I want to take it seriously because I do feel like there's value in the words that I'm saying regardless of how big or small my community is.
So the thing is it's so simple. Like, everyone listening right now, I guarantee you, has heard what we're about to say has been working for you. And like you said, imposter syndrome, taking yourself seriously, all these little things, and just like sometimes the most simple stuff, people don't trust that it will work.
It's almost like, oh, it's too simple to be true, too good to be true.
like you've heard it too many times.
Yeah, they're like, if it was just that easy, everyone would have a lot of followers. But then when
it's kind of like that art argument where they see like abstract art and they're like, oh, well, like anyone can do that. It's like, yeah, well, you didn't.
But you didn't.
Even if it's super easy, like you still didn't do it. So that person did.
So from what I gather from your Instagram growth, it's been as simple as engaging content. So for you, that means a cool photo and a message.
Usually a pretty long message. We can talk about that later.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Okay,
a photo.
It's not a comedy account.
A message. There's some good jokes in there.
Okay.
I love commenting and bringing the comedy to your account.
Yeah, you definitely do. I get messages personally being like, wow, Travis is such an asshole on your account. I'm like, he's sitting at the dinner table with me right now. Like, I know he's joking.
Yeah.
But people think that you're actually
like
trying to
some
be...
of your followers will actually say that.
Yeah, like I get messages from my friends that are like, wow, Travis is really unsupportive. I'm like, no, he's clearly joking. He's sitting across the table from me right now.
Hey, everyone, I'm also the only one that comments on every post.
Yeah, why aren't you commenting?
So yeah, if you want to judge me, all right. But no, that's
so defensive.
I don't give up. No, but the thing is you have engaging content. So this, if you were to transfer this to any business, and the reason we're having you on today is because you're going to help us and Robbie, who's running our account right now, for the music. But engaging content, so that might mean different things for different people. But for you, that's a cool picture with some eco involvement, whether it's like environment or a
like
reusable
wellness or something. Yeah.
Or a story along those lines. You write a description that's rather long that like poses a question or talks about something you're feeling on this message. You put relevant hashtags. You respond to every message.
Thing for me. Yeah, I respond to every comment.
You respond to every comment.
Like thoughtfully too, not just with like emojis for the most part. Unless they just send me emojis and then I just hit them back with whatever.
And you do that. You do that at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And just
if
with
not more,
that, in a few months of consistently doing it, you've seen comments spike.
Definitely.
Followers consistently growing.
Yeah.
Engagement
that one post
up.
kind of went viral. That was exciting. I got almost like 2,000 likes on one picture from the global climate strike.
Actually, that many?
Yeah.
2,000 likes on one picture. She's got like 2,000 followers.
And like
insane.
98 comments or whatever. It was wild. Yeah.
Wow.
So it just goes to show And that's simple.
It's like small potatoes to some people, but to be honest, when you're growing an account,
That's fucking huge.
Yeah, it's really
2,000
exciting.
likes.
Totally.
So it's simple. It's straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone out there is like, oh yeah, no, there's no way it would work for us or whatever. But the thing is, a lot of people don't also know how to make good, engaging content.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't have the discipline, and us included, to pre-plan posts.
Yeah.
To like you do other stuff alongside it as well, like blog posts, and
Mhm.
maybe the equivalent of that for us would be like a cover video
Right.
or something like that. Like it is the total package.
Mhm.
There is that level deeper that we have to mention. But the thing people don't understand is if you're already doing that stuff, like a lot of people are when they
Mhm.
run a business, then the engaging Instagram is just the final step.
Yeah, it's the cherry on top for a lot of businesses, for
Like,
sure.
you're already doing the work. So like
Mhm.
if you're only
You're just sharing the messaging effectively.
yeah, if your only goal was to grow your Instagram and you're just like sitting at an office job and you have nothing really to offer unless you're like super gorgeous or something, I don't know, then sure, maybe this formula might not work for you. But if you have a legitimate thing that you believe in that you think can do well, that simple formula applied to your Instagram can grow it. And we wanted to talk about it on the pod because we're going to implement it.
Right. And I will continue to implement it as effectively and continue to learn, obviously, as well as I keep going.
Coach us.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
The first post that we put hashtags on immediately night and day changed
it's
the
wild.
type of engagement with our account.
Mm-hmm.
We
People
ne-
make fun of hashtags being like hashtag LOL, whatever. But if you really find your niche in your community and you know who you're trying to reach out to, it gets your post in front of so many more eyes. It's almost silly not to do it.
Let me ask you guys something.
Mhm.
When you're looking through Instagram, do you search under hashtags for certain things that you're looking for?
Yeah, I follow like a handful of hashtags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is that something you can do?
So you can follow certain hashtags so that on your feed, not only the accounts that you follow, but the hashtags that you follow will bring up posts that are related to your thing. So I have like a zero waste, a plastic free, and a sustainable living, like stuff like that. So they come up on my feed. So I can also see what kind of people would be seeing my posts since I also use those type of hashtags in my content.
Yeah, I didn't even know
We
could
don't
do that. Well,
Rob
just
and I.
because like me personally,
not personally, yeah, that's okay.
Right.
I don't look through hashtag like
Right.
under certain categories,
The
right?
Right.
people that do are the people that want to
see,
interact, that
totally.
want to be a
They're
part
like
of
the
that community.
engagers, definitely.
And yeah, like that whole imposter syndrome and stuff like that. It's true. Like you even feel kind of weird taking an account seriously that has such a small amount of followers. And
Yeah.
you're expecting some
it's
external
such an
event to bring in like
Right.
10K so that you can be
Yeah.
like, oh, now I'm taking
Now
this
I'm
seriously.
real. And I think that's a big issue because it comes with so much ego where like you're not really giving value to the people that are spending time on your account. And I know a lot of people discredit social media being like, oh, well, everyone just like cares about selfies and whatever. But it is a really incredible way of finding like-minded people. Like I actually genuinely have friends that I meet up with whenever I go to environmental protests or whenever I'm in different cities that I've met through social media, which is pretty powerful.
Wow.
And I think discrediting that by just being like, oh, it's social media, it's silly, like I'll do this or I'll do that when I have enough followers, kind of discredits all the people that were there since the day one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's really fair. So I don't know. I don't really think followers itself. The only thing that gets me excited about having more followers is having a bigger audience that I can share my messaging with. But it doesn't really matter in terms of like validation anymore, like it did at the very beginning. Because at the beginning, you're like kind of like, oh, I have 300 followers. I have less than like my little sister's friends who's 12. Like that's
dude, they have, like,
embarrassing because
thousands
they have
of
like thousands.
followers.
Yeah,
It's
because they're all
nuts.
insane about it. But now I'm like, oh, you know, I'm like, I actually am super grateful for the people that have taken time out of their day to like put me on their feed and reading my absurdly long captions sometimes because I almost make them like mini blog
No,
posts.
they're like insanely long.
I know they're too long,
Yeah.
but I do really, the people that do read them and like get to the
Oh, well,
bottom and
they're
ask
not for
questions.
me. They're for
No,
those
I know they're
people.
not for you, but it has been really incredible that I literally got a specific message today that was from somebody that's in the sustainability kind of world as well, and they said, I really love the format of your comments and of your posts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
So
sweet.
don't
Like
change.
that's
Yeah.
that's
That's
great.
working.
It's obviously working to some extent. I should probably switch it up and put some short ones in there too, but I really like sharing what I've learned and I like spreading the knowledge.
I've thought about this actually when I scroll through and I see your captions.
My long ass post.
Yeah, for your posts. How long do you spend writing those? Or like, I mean, you spoke about how you've been batching things recently, but like,
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I wonder, like, does she have sort of like a bit of a template that she fills this in from, or like does she actually like write these every single time? I was curious.
Yeah, totally. So I actually have a friend, KP, who I also met on Instagram. I was on her podcast, and she was telling me about the idea of like working smarter, not harder, and how you can spend so much inefficient time on Instagram, especially if you're like trying to become a content creator, or you are a content creator, but you're trying to do it more effectively and more consistently, was just to batch all your work and to not like, nobody's acting like the pictures that they're taking every single day anymore are from that day. That used to happen like a few years ago on Instagram. I feel like people were like, oh, this was from last night, or this was from this weekend, and it was like a flashback Friday or a throwback
you had to announce it.
You had to announce it if it wasn't from that day, and now nobody's expecting that because everyone has curated feeds. So what I've been doing now is pre-planning a lot of my posts, especially just because it's a lot easier to take pictures that I like, that are like of high quality, that kind of go with what I'm trying to share. And then I usually have a general idea of what I want to touch on, and then either I'll just like hammer it out right before I post it, or I'll have like, I had a little bit of a chart made before where it was like I wanted to share like straight information, like kind of hard data or a personal story or whatever, and then I kind of have ideas of what I wanted to share within those categories. But yeah, for the most part, it's like one of those two things. Because it's hard to think of things, especially when they are so long, and have it get across the point that you want it to get across in an effective way that isn't just like either super rambly or just like kind of meh.
Yeah, no.
Totally. No, I always think that they're well thought out.
Thanks.
And I think one of your specialties as well is asking a question at the end.
I skim
It's
right to the
something that you like
question
to
a lot
do.
of times, yeah.
And then you still message me something terrible on my thing.
No, I think there's also a place for jokes. All right, it's not so
No, I agree.
serious. Okay?
I actually kind of like that about what you bring to it, though, because as we said at the beginning, it's important to take yourself seriously in terms of imposter syndrome and like understanding that you have value to bring to a platform. But I think just as importantly, it's good to not take yourself super seriously and understand that like this is just, it is social media, and it doesn't have to be all like life or death super serious. I do like to share important content, but at the end of the day, if you're telling me, I said a recent post where I was like, I want to slow down and like be more mindful and whatever, and you're like, get back to work, loser, or something on my thing, and I was like, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like,
I
it's
didn't say loser.
okay, well, you meant it.
I meant it.
Right
Yeah.
between the lines.
No,
but you know what I mean? Like,
it's
that's still
honestly,
valuable. I think it's still funny.
The truth of it is, it's the only way I can genuinely
Yeah.
interact with your content.
I know, but I appreciate you trying.
You're like, please, like to help a friend out, like and comment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
So desperate.
it would be so not genuine of me to be like, oh my god, you go girl. Like, it would actually be more insulting.
Yeah, it would be really passive aggressive of
It
you.
would be. I would feel sick. Right?
Yeah, totally.
So the only way I can generally interact is just like, when you post a cool picture, I'll say this is dope.
Yeah.
You look dope.
Totally.
If it's just like a
No, you gassed me up. I think I don't have a problem with it. I just appreciate that you take the time to even look at it anyways, because I know.
cool, that's recorded and that's forever in the bank.
Do you also, I don't know the answer to this question, but do you also use Twitter?
No. But I've been realizing lately that I need to expand to different platforms because I don't think it's...
Because I feel like that would be beneficial for your
Yeah.
whole sort of
Cool.
platform.
Well, it's just
Look at us giving advice to each other.
Well, this is what I wanted to go next. Is,
Not that I really know anything about Twitter, but I just feel like what you're
Sure.
doing could be,
Yeah, that'd be
especially
cool.
with your messages, you
Yeah,
can
why not?
reach
Text.
like another audience.
Yeah, that's a
Twitter's
great idea.
huge in the States.
Right.
It's like their thing.
I've never even thought about it.
Because
to
it
be
kind of sucks, to be honest.
Yeah.
It
I've
sucks.
never been a Twitter person.
Mm.
Yeah.
In the States, though, I have friends that are from the US that use it, like used to use it for like communication, like as a messaging, like on the DMs and
Yeah,
stuff like
same
that.
way
Like
we
it was,
use
I know a lot
Insta,
of people
Yeah.
use it for news updates.
yeah,
You
of
know,
course,
they'll
for
follow
sure.
like sports, or they'll follow, whether
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what my
Is it weird
stepdad
that I
uses it
just
for.
don't
Politics
give a
or something?
fuck about anything that goes on like that?
Dance.
Like, I couldn't care less. Oh my god, like this happened in
This person was traded to this.
France, or like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
person, like the impeachment stuff. It's like, give me the highlights.
Yeah.
like the big ones.
I think that's not an issue. I think the only problem when it is an issue is when people are like super engaged with news that happens in the States or like internationally, and then they don't care about anything that's happening in Canada. I'm like, there's so many problematic things that are happening in Canada, like in our own country, and people are like, oh well, the impeachment stuff. I'm like, yo, we don't live there. Like, pay
Mhm.
attention to what Trudeau's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, that's a side note, but
fuck. Was it Eli that met Trudeau recently
Ooh.
at a party? Did he tell
At
you
a
that?
party?
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't tell me the story.
What kind of parties does he like go to?
Or was it Trudeau's wife?
I don't remember. I'll let Eli
Eli
tell it when we have it on, if that's the truth. But what I wanted to say, because we have you on,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason we're doing this is can you consult
Okay.
on our Instagram? What should we do for Johnny Famos?
Sure.
In your
I'm
professional
gonna,
opinion.
Can I open it up? Is that okay?
Yeah. Of course.
So I really what I was saying to the boys earlier, actually, and that's kind of like led to me being on the show today, was that I think their audience is super special because obviously you guys have a lot of your friends and stuff that come out, but to be fair, there's a lot of people that have friends that are in bands and they still don't show up the way that your friends and your family and everything show up to all of your events, and I think that's really special. So shout out to all of the John Famos fans out
What
there
up,
that
John
show
Famos fans?
up. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I would say the first thing that I would say is that it's just not enough. You have 27 posts and you started in May. I don't think that's super consistent, but I like the post. Honestly, the post of you two, especially like This Is Fire, and we can pop it up. But I think some of them have been really, really cool, especially the ones that Mitch has taken. Scott has taken some cool ones.
Mitch did a fantastic job.
Yeah, you guys look like straight up.
So the
apps.
content is there.
The content is there, but the only
The
thing that I've realized
consistency
is
is
just
missing.
the consistency is missing. And what I was saying to the boys, I guess you guys, if people are listening, they can tell you guys whether they agree with this or not. But I really like the idea of the behind the scenes thing, because I think having that aspect of being able to see the two of you, or when you go into, I don't know where you guys practice sometimes, but it's like just in a basement, right?
We
Yeah.
practice a lot of times at Scott Goodwin's
At
house.
Scott's house, yeah. But I just think I don't know a lot of bands that I follow, and I feel like I follow like a few smaller artists that show a lot of like the behind the stage, like behind the scenes kind of grungy stuff.
Yeah.
And I would like to, even though I literally live with you guys and I hear it and I see it all the time, I think it would be cool to create stuff that was for the people that have been following you, against that like day one mentality, the people that have been with you forever, seeing how you guys actually put the songs together. Nobody really shows stuff like that. I think that'd be super cool.
It's true, because that's what I'm always keen on when I'm, some of the bands that I really like is the stuff that I'm always searching up for is like interviews, because I'm like, oh, I want to see
what are they like?
what are they like as a person, right?
And
Or you
even better
follow
than
them on
interviews would
Instagram,
be
like you just want to hear them like sort of doing their like own day-to-day shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think,
So like like you'd say stories,
like
of
whenever
that?
you guys have a practice, or whenever you're like at the computer, like making a song, or like if you two are just like fucking around and like doing riffs on the guitar or whatever, like film it. I would be interested to see it, and I think it'd be really cool also just for you guys to look back on once y'all are famous.
What up, baby?
What up, baby?
We're
But
already
once
famous.
you guys, I know, but once you guys kind of blow up, to look back and be like, oh my God, it's almost like that Bill Gates or like Steve Jobs, like out of a garage kind of thing. And then, you know what I mean? I'm not comparing you guys to either of those people, but I'm saying it would be cool to look back on.
So that's one thing to capture kind of like the behind the scenes kind of more
just like
chill
the authentic
stuff.
Because sometimes like we get it that you guys want to be rock stars, and I like that whole persona, but I think there's something cooler about just being like Toronto boys.
We spoke about this the other day. Remember this conversation, Trev?
I don't know what you're about to say, so I'll let you know in a second if I remember it.
Trav was essentially saying how much he hates pictures of just being on stage.
Interesting.
Or I mean, like
I just think
as
I hate-
content, like
I hate-
as your
Right.
content
I
machine.
hate boring
Right,
content.
like we know what you look like on stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate
I
bands
agree.
that just put up picture after picture of them
This
on
is
stage.
at this show. Thank you, Denver.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool. It doesn't look any different than any other stage.
If that's their only content.
Right.
Other than to say thank you, Denver, I think that's an important message. But if like then the
No,
next
I
three
agree.
posts were like them just like Denver on
Yeah,
stage,
yeah.
on stage, on stage. It's just kind of basic. And like
Right.
I also hate people. Hate
people.
such a strong word.
It's so strong. Like,
I
chill
don't
out.
hate anything.
Right.
I dislike whenever I see someone throw up an Instagram
Mm.
with like a nothing caption or like
Oh, it's like 3 emojis or something.
yeah, or like something that clearly they're just like
You're lazy.
it's like I'm taking my time
Mm.
to look at your post and give it a like, and you're just gonna fucking throw up a lazy caption like it's cool.
Right.
Like
You're expecting something from the people that you follow a little bit.
if they like, I give my
in terms of content, like don't just post to post.
not in terms of my
provides-
friends. I'm
Yeah, of course. Yeah. if
I
you're
don't care
just-
what my friends do because
Yeah, yeah.
I'm interested in what's in the photo. I'm interested
yeah,
in what they're
yeah,
doing.
of course.
I'm talking about like people that are trying to do it for a thing,
Yeah.
like a band or whatever,
Right.
and that like they'll just like slap up a picture and be like "sup"
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
caption. I'm like, you're a loser.
Right. So rude.
Can we also talk about how many ads are in our Instagram feeds these days?
No way. I was literally thinking about this today. I scrolled through my Instagram this morning, and every 4th picture
For
was
me,
an ad.
it's like every third picture.
It's wild.
It's insane.
It's so frustrating.
and how like ineffective it is because I
scroll
scroll
through it
immediately
faster.
past it.
Yeah.
Oh, I buy things.
Oh, I have a problem. No, it's terrible.
I appreciate good Insta ads. I watch them because I'm like, oh, I
Mm-mm.
wonder if I can like learn like how to do that too.
Oh, you're so annoying.
I bought a few things.
I literally am like, anti-capitalism. Stop selling me things.
No. That's how it that's how you get everything you're getting. That's what
I
pays the
know.
people that makes the things
Oh,
built.
they're making plenty of money.
Yeah,
Make it
yeah.
every 15th picture.
Oh no,
like,
it's,
I can't
it's,
do every
it's
4.
too much.
Like it's ridiculous.
Also, the thing I do is because I just like I go through and like I tap everything. I always end up liking all these
ads.
ads and like I'm so not lazy, but I don't want to go
Classic
back and
cuck.
untap an ad because
Right.
that's so petty.
I always do. And I report them. If they're for dairy or meat, I report them as
Wow.
spam.
Wow.
Not a joke. And I literally put that as harmful misinformation.
Well, I have to go back and I
Not a
have to
joke.
go back and unlike them now because now
You're
I'm
getting,
getting
like,
all these like I'm
flooded?
getting targeted.
Yeah.
There was a period of time.
Do you want these cut off Ugg booties?
No, they had knockoff AirPods.
Mm,
And I clicked on one because I was like, oh cool, like just like looking at it,
okay.
and I was like, great, because I'd accidentally liked it and all that. And then, no joke, this isn't an exaggeration. I talked about it on the podcast. There was 10 plus different companies with the exact same marketing material.
Oh my God.
Selling these AirPods. It was drop shipping. You know what drop shipping is?
Yeah.
It's basically like
What's drop shipping?
drop shipping is like a way a lot of people make money on social media is they take existing Chinese products
Mhm.
and
Like
then
cheaply made,
cheaply made but
exploitive,
it's-
bad for the environment.
but there's a company that makes it
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they offer it to companies on wholesale,
Mm-hmm.
and these companies are basically just people that are really good at marketing, and they'll
Like flooding.
they'll do like these sales techniques on Instagram, but you'll have 30 different company names selling the same products with the
They'll
same
be like,
pictures.
Oh, I've
AirPods
seen-
for free, just pay for shipping, but the shipping's
Yeah.
$15, and then they actually do free shipping,
and they have all
pocket
the all the
$15.
reviews and like
But they're all
buy now
fake
15
bots.
minutes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
like free shipping and all this shit and like
Because you know what we really need is more crappy products to fill our earth with. Don't you agree?
but I'm just saying like that's I got flooded with that,
Right.
so now I'm like really conscious about what I click on.
Mm.
It's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
I'm not a
But
fan.
even on Explore on Instagram, if you start tapping on like certain profiles or profiles that are
They're
related
ads.
to people,
Totally.
they start directing all of the content towards you. Because like now, like mine used to be filled with like Post Malone or like
and
it,
thoughts.
like every now and then it goes through
All
phases.
asses.
Yeah.
It
Male
goes,
and female.
Yeah.
it goes through phases where it's like I click on a couple of things and
Right.
then everything's just directed towards that.
Yeah.
You want to know the truth is, I think at this stage, Instagram is just absolute trash.
Totally.
Like,
Except for the green are good.
no, I just mean like in terms of using it for anything other than business or friends.
Yeah.
Like exploring an Explore feed,
I cannot.
I think it's the closest thing I could imagine to throwing your life away.
Oh my God.
Do you not know what I'm
Seems
talking
like a
about?
pointed attack. Since
No, like when I wake up in the morning
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what, I just need to wake up. Let me just cruise my Explore feed. It's one thing when I see what my friends are doing and I click like.
Mhm.
It's another thing when I respond to some messages. And then once I go into the Explore pile,
Your
I-
day is gone. It's
I-
4 p.m. The sun is
I
down.
mean, any minute I spend on that, it might as well just be like, what was that?
My hands are really clammy.
It might as well just be you throwing time into a furnace.
Yeah.
You gain nothing, you learn
It's
nothing.
true.
You gain weight probably from
you gain nothing, you learn nothing.
Mhm.
It's like perfectly set up to continue playing.
Of course, that's like literally how it's been such a successful model, is that it is like this black hole of time.
So I just stopped.
Right. Good for you.
I just stopped. If I need to look for something, I'll use
You look
it.
directly.
I'll
look
look
for something
directly.
specific. Yeah.
I'll use it for my thing. I'll answer messages, but I just fucking stopped.
Yeah.
It is a sewage machine of time wasting. Like it's if you actually take a step back and look at
No,
yourself.
it's wild. Yeah.
Next time you're cruising your Explore feed, take a second, think of yourself out of body, and look down at yourself and what
It's
you're
so
doing.
sad. I got like in my
it's
Shitting down like
it's
that.
like it's actually a sickening activity.
Yeah, totally.
Look at myself taking a dump.
Oh, except for
Yo, Travis, literally the other day though, you were in the bathroom for 40 minutes. I thought you were dead and you were just on your phone.
except for when you're
There's
on,
no way you were feeling your feet still.
except for when you're like on a bus or like there's literally nothing else to do. Like,
Yeah.
like if you have to if you actually have to throw time away.
Right.
Yeah.
The
But even
toilet.
then, you could probably be doing something
The
better.
toilet. If you don't sit there until
Sitting
your
on the
legs fall
toilet.
asleep, did you really go to the bathroom?
Totally. It's a good question. Let's dive in.
Not 40 minutes. that'd be
That or
wild.
Hinge.
Oh no, it was
One of the two.
yeah.
Yeah.
But probably was an Instagram.
Yeah, that's fair. It's so gross to think of you taking a shit and swiping on Hinge.
You know what's
Or
funny?
messaging.
This
Yeah,
is this is a
messaging
little
girls
bit of
being
a
like,
joke,
"Hey,
but
baby."
sometimes I've this is gonna be hilarious. Sometimes I've been on Hinge. I don't do that 40-minute toilet thing all the time. That was
Okay.
Just to clarify.
sometimes when I'm on Hinge or Tinder,
Yeah.
I've like farted and I've been looking at someone while I smell my fart. And it's made me repulsed by that person.
You had like a Pavlovian
Yeah,
effect
yeah,
where
yeah.
you're like making yourself sick with your own gas
Yeah.
about a person's face that you're looking
Yeah,
at.
yeah. And I'm like,
You're
oh,
a sick puppy.
I know. But that
I
hasn't
lo-
happened in a while.
Girls, listen up. That's why you didn't get the message back. He farted right when you looked at your face.
Yeah, if you're wondering why I didn't message you back, it could have been something out of your hands.
Yeah, out of
You know
your
what I
control.
mean? No, but like other than that, like I think it's a waste of time. But okay, so the stories
Yeah.
of us behind the scenes. Otherwise, though, the photos though, you like them to be cool rock starry
yeah.
photos.
Totally. I think also one thing that I noticed, or one thing that I think is valuable on Instagram is because it is a vertical format, obviously because it's like made to fit your phone, doing vertical photos that fill the screen are really good. So you guys have a lot of horizontal photos. I think trying to get some more verties would be dope.
Okay, I love the vert.
Yeah.
Love a little Uzi
Little
vert.
Uzi baby.
Yeah. But
Uh-huh.
I do think that at the end of the day, you know that people care about the music that you're putting out. You know that people are there to support you regardless. Just like show up for them. I think that's the biggest thing. Like you can say thank you at a show and say thank you for people that come out and support you. But I think like this is like another way of giving back to your community of people that have like been around for so long since you guys have been making music is just
Yeah.
like posting content and give the people what they want to see.
Well, I thought it was selfish. Like I thought it's selfish posting all this shit. Like you said, imposter syndrome. I'm like, why do you care?
Right, but
and
I
all
think
this stuff.
once you get to doing it consistently and you realize that people do care about what you're
Well, if they
sharing
enjoy it.
and they
Yeah.
and they do share it and they do engage with it, then you kind of realize, okay, like I am providing value. And that was something that I had to get over in that first like 4 or 5 months of super dry spell when I first started my account, was like, okay, there's these huge names, like there's like Impact for Good and like Zero Waste Lifestyle and all these different like really cool blogs that are like pumping out content and their feeds are so beautiful and they're like so educated. And then I was like, well, what am I doing that's different than that?
Mm.
And then I was like, you know what? I know that I am doing something different. I really like the way that I love to write. I love to write out my like blogs. I love like writing as like a medium of sharing information. And I was like, I do think I have something unique to share. I think people do respond to my stuff in a unique way, in a really positive way. I'm just going to keep my head down, not worry about the numbers, and just like focus on really, like, I don't want to post for the sake of posting. So like almost all of my pictures are like really on message. Like I'm really trying to like post for a reason every single time. And although that's pretty exhausting, like I think it's been worth it and super rewarding to just like not get caught up in the numbers or the ego of it and just be like, I think that this is valuable, whether one person or like 1,000 people look at it.
Okay. So in terms of how many times a week you found that 4 times is enough, the right amount?
So I was reading an article about this actually, that was talking about how the Instagram algorithm has changed. Obviously, an algorithm, like especially for social media, is going to reward the more time that you're on the app, the more it's going to direct people to your feed. That's just kind of like how any business model works. It's going to reward you for contributing to it more. So
Does it actually?
Yes,
yeah,
of course, yeah.
of course. If you post on it regularly, you get on more people's feeds, because if you're just like a one-off and you haven't posted in 6 months and you just post one time, it's not really going to show up anywhere because nobody knows kind of like what you're trying to share, like where to put you, where to categorize you. But if you're like consistent in your messaging, then it kind of fills more people's, like the algorithm knows who would actually align with your message. And I think before it was kind of like 5-6 days a week, you got to be pumping out shit. Like you got to do it every single day, show up, stories. And now what I've realized is, I didn't find that personally sustainable. I just think that's like so crazy. And it's kind of one of those like fast fashion, like quantity over quantity. Like I don't want to just pump out like a machine for the sake of it and then have like the actual quality of my information go down. So I was like, okay, I know that I can keep up with about 4 times a week in a way that like I still feel good about. And I found that like the kind of trend is pretty similar to that kind of degree as well, where people don't really want to see you in their feed every single day, but as long as you're a part of their week and like you're posting informative things and it seems super genuine, like it needs to be genuine. Like, let's be real. Like, I think there is a place for like the more like sexualized Instagram posts where like you can kind of just, I wouldn't say get away, but like you can kind of just be hot and people will respond to it for that sake. But if you're trying to come at it from a different angle, being genuine and having like your own personal voice in your things, I think is super valuable.
I think Rob and I are taking the hot angle.
Definitely.
So
You're basically just an ass account.
Yeah, it's gonna soon just be pictures of Rob's waxed Brazilian fucking cheeks.
Meow.
Okay.
Playing the guitar.
Honestly though, the thing I learned is I was shooting with Annika for Landy Collection, and yeah, we had some of her model friends for the photo shoot, and we were over at 437 Swimwear, and the girls shooting for 437 Swimwear were so good looking, and I was like, honestly, I think hot girls could sell anything,
right?
And I think, Rob, what we're lacking a lot of in our feed is models, dude.
Can you please not go that way? Like, please.
Message Annika, ask her friends.
Well, she pays them well. And that's something
you guys don't have a lot to pay.
Yeah.
Well,
all dressed chips for everyone that comes naked to our shows.
No, but I was just looking around, and 437 Swimwear does really well. But if you go to their page, it's just like the hottest girls.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's a place for that because they're selling swimwear and people like the fantasy of being like, oh, I want to look like that in their swimwear.
Yeah.
I understand what they're going
for. It's not cheesy, but I'm just...
It's not cheesy, but I'm saying it would be really fucking cheesy if you guys did it. It would make no sense.
Okay, it was a yoke.
I don't think it was.
Can you relax? And no, but like, I mean, legitimately though, if I wanted to just sell it and get lots of followers, I legitimately think even being cheesy with hot girls, you can sell anything.
Chris D'Elia talks about that.
Does he?
Yeah, you're hooking.
What?
He calls it hooking. Like selling your body for like Instagram fame.
Yeah. But
like he said it in a funny way.
You don't think I said it
You said it in a kind of funny way. You're no Chris D'Elia.
Hey, what the fuck?
No. I'm just saying, like, he is touching on a very similar thing, though, where it's like...
Hot girls can sell
He
anything.
literally was like, it's a shame if no girl that's conventionally attractive has at least 1 million followers.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah,
where he's just talking about how it's like...
No, it's true.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like kind of the sad reality of you just get on the Explorer page and people just blow up your stuff. Except for when I had that picture of me from the global climate strike, somebody literally commented on my post, now do this in a bikini.
Love it.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I looked at his post and he was literally like a father of 2 kids and was married. And then I messaged him back being like, hey sir, like, don't know what I'm wearing or what that has to do with anything about like the environmental crisis, but like, hope you have a good one. Hope you treat the women in your life with more respect. And he literally went on to absolutely roast the shit out of me.
What did he say?
He was like, oh, well, women are like not as intelligent, like just biology, honey. And then this other friend of mine who works at the restaurant that I worked at was like, please have a little bit more respect. And then he called her sweet meat. Not a joke. Which is the grossest thing I've ever heard.
Sounds like a menu item at a Chinese restaurant.
But do you have screenshots of this?
My friend does. I can't have her send them to you.
You
They're
literally
so
should
funny.
post this.
I did. I posted it when it first came out, but I was like I actually wasn't even really that rattled about it. I was like, yo, this guy is just like an absolute cuck of a human.
But like, you just roast him. Like,
no, but should you?
I don't care.
Because then you invite more of those people.
And honestly, it was just sad. I'm like, this guy is in his 50s with 2 kids, and he's spending time on my post. Like, thanks for boosting my engagement. Smell ya.
Yeah, lose.
This reminds me, you also sent a photo to our group the other day about someone approaching you on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. I have been trying to be more professional with my Greener Good Consulting account. And in doing so...
and some guy's like, how you try to be professional in them jeans,
Yeah,
girl?
no joke. Literally, I've realized that LinkedIn is basically like professional Tinder. It's so terrible. I'm trying to post things being like, hey, here's like a resource for like why drinking water bottles is like not a great thing if you have access to whatever. I'm posting like thoughtful articles. I'm going through it. And then somebody's like, hey, Kristen, I endorsed you for leadership. Thanks so much for connecting. What are you doing tonight? I'm like, excuse you? Like,
It's a sad
endorse
reality,
me
but
for-
also the best tool that you can use
it's
is like,
hilarious.
guys, as we said, will buy anything from good looking girls.
Right.
And
I mean, I guess like buy my services, bring me to your office and I'll give you a
Exactly.
consulting thing, but also like stay away from me.
no, but the thing is, it's like you're going to get that the negative side of it is getting hit on.
By
And-
like, no joke, 60-year-old lawyers or CEOs, according
Yeah.
to their LinkedIn, whatever
yeah.
that means, that are literally sending me winky face emojis. And I'm like,
But on the other
What's
end,
up?
Yeah. Didn't one guy? Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
no, nothing. Just but on the other end, it's also such a bonus that because you're attractive,
Boner?
people are gonna click your pictures in the Explorer feed.
right.
The algorithm's gonna pick that up better. You're gonna get like
Right.
like little extra good treatment,
Mm.
and you don't even go hard on like the.
Yeah, you want me to be way more of a thought on my Instagram, and I found it. I toned it down pretty.
But like not for me,
no, I know not
for your
you.
own good.
Yeah, no, I know.
Didn't the one guy you sent a picture though? He's like, thanks for accepting my connection or something, something like that, and then like a winky face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
AKA
I know, I
Like,
just-
show me one girl
I didn't
that
send
is
him a
worked
picture.
on.
I didn't send it. I literally accepted it because I accept everyone on LinkedIn because I don't know why I wouldn't. Like, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I probably knew
Yeah.
you from something, or even if not, I'm like, whatever. And yeah, that's what he said. He said, thank you so much for connecting.
I
And
would
then-
love that guy to show one girl that line is worked on.
I know.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but we have this conversation about everything.
Yeah.
Wherever there is a thing that exists, there is a creepy guy
Yeah.
that doesn't understand interactions.
Mm.
And then there was a good looking girl who gets all these creepy guys orbiting around her like some sort of fucking solar system.
But to be honest, I haven't gotten, well, I had one request recently to be a sugar baby, which I seriously
Considered?
On LinkedIn?
considered. No, this was on Instagram. I'm kidding. I didn't actually consider it, but
Can
I
you
was
take
like,
us through.
but I just ended up blocking it. Like he messaged me, but then what was so funny is that I told my friends at
what was
work,
the context of the message?
he was just like, hey, you seem really great. I think I actually have the message.
Pull it up.
Yeah.
But he basically was like, you seem really great. I am really busy with work. I don't have a lot of time to spend
This is my kind
on
of guy.
dating. So how about we, so
I
here
like
it
his
is.
style.
Hey there, I'm a single guy living and working downtown Toronto. I work long hours and don't really have time to date. Hence, I'm looking for a sugar baby who can see me once a week or every 2 weeks, and I will pay a monthly allowance. I can pay a weekly allowance until trust is established. We get dinner first to see if we vibe with well. What do you think?
Did you look at his profile?
It was private. But to be
Mm.
honest,
So you don't even know like what he
I
looked
have no
like
idea
or
what he looked
anything?
like, but it was way funnier
But-
because I told my friends at work, and then two of the other ones got the exact same copy and pasted message. So he obviously like
He's a numbers guy.
he's a
numbers
numbers guy.
but
He just
that's
flooding.
probably how he made some good money.
Totally.
One of my guilty pleasures
Is being a sugar daddy.
no, is looking at girls' DMs, like guys who have slid into their DMs,
And then
just
they
like
screenshot
just
it and,
like
like,
reading
yeah,
the
they're
messages
so
because
funny.
there's so much good material.
But that
in
hasn't
there.
been my issue as of late. It's literally been people stuck in multi-level marketing situations that message me about like Arbonne and different cosmetic things. And I probably get, this is not a joke, 5 to 10 every week
From Arbonne?
from people that represent Arbonne being like, hey girl, I really love the vibe of your post. Like, you're doing so great. Love you. And they'll send voice notes being like, I really love what you're doing. We connect. We're aligned on so many things. Let me know if you want to be a part of this amazing opportunity, making lots of money as a side hustle because we're all boss babes or whatever. Let me know.
Yeah, that's
And my friends were like, you're responding to every single one. And I feel so terrible, but I literally, I go
Because there are
in.
real people.
They are real people, and you know what? They're trying so hard, and they got roped into probably a really terrible situation where they're making no money because they have like 300 followers and they're trying to sell like thousands of
But,
dollars
like,
of product,
At least it's just an Instagram message. I've been
I know.
invited out to multi-level marketing
like
events.
dinners and stuff. Oh god,
And
did they
I-
ask you to pay after?
Well, yeah. And the thing is,
Exactly.
this is like, I remember even one time, friends of ours who are still friends, so I don't want to throw them out
Okay,
there,
okay.
but you know, I get an invite. They're like, "Yo, I know you're an entrepreneur. You got your business. We have like something really big going on. Like, you should come out. We're doing a meeting at a hotel just out of town with these people. I really think you should meet."
Whoa.
And I was like, "Okay, what's the deal?" And they're like, "Oh, it's like a utilities thing. Blah blah blah. But you got to meet this guy who runs it in Toronto." That to me sounds
Pretty good.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I head down.
And you're good with that. You
Yeah,
like
sure.
networking stuff. yeah.
I'll do it. I tell my parents immediately. Mom and dad go, "Oh yeah, don't go. It's a pyramid scheme." And I was like, what's a pyramid scheme? They're like,
Right.
they're like,
They could smell it from a mile
they're
away.
a mile away. They
Right.
were
Yeah.
immediate about it. I'm like, no, it's just like a few friends. They're like, at a hotel? Why are you meeting at a hotel?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's a good question. They're like, it's a pyramid scheme. And I was like, really? I was like, it's kind of like late. I kind of got to go. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay, just
see it.
just check it
But
out.
yeah.
I popped down there, big room. Guy at the front, like, do you want a Ferrari? I have a Ferrari. I used to do nothing. Now I got blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I know everyone says this is a pyramid scheme, but it's not. It's a matrix. And he puts
Oh my God.
he puts a picture on the screen of, no joke,
An upside
a
down pyramid.
It was
Don't kill me.
It was
an
all,
upside down pyramid.
It was right side up. It was
Oh
a
my-
pyramid because it was all the names along the bottom, the tier above it,
Oh.
the tier above it, and each tier got smaller and
smaller.
smaller. And he's like,
Isn't
you know,
that
as you
genius?
work your way up this matrix and you grow your team, he's like, I'm got Ferraris. Look at my suit, and everybody in the audience is like, ah. And
people are
to be
so
honest, it's
desperate.
sad because it's a lot of immigrants too.
Right. Oh.
So
Because they
that-
just want to make good money.
That,
It's so-
that's the tactic, eh? It's like
no, do you want to know what the tactic is? So they go, okay, you gotta pay $500, right, to get it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Right.
to start your team. And
right. You start your
so-
team and then you need people to sign up under you,
so
right?
our friends, and they'd be the first to admit it now. They're not doing it anymore. They actually, you can get your money back because if they don't give you your money back within a certain period, pyramid schemes can get shut down. That's how these multi-level marketing
Right.
schemes actually exist. But so they're like, they let me meet this guy, this like hustler at this front after, and
It's a
I'm like,
Gary V wannabe.
he's like, I'm like, hey man, it sounds intriguing. I was like, always willing to invest. I was like, before I give you my $500, can I just see a breakdown of how much time I need to work and how much money I
Right.
can make, what the products are, all this stuff. Just one of those breakdowns. He goes, my man, how much time do you want to work? I was like, probably no more than 20 hours a week. And I'm like, okay, so how much money, could someone make with that kind of effort? He goes, how much money do you want to make?
oh my God.
And I go, oh,
for those
oh.
listening on audio, I just rolled my eyes really hard.
I was like, I don't think that's how it worked. I kind of want to
Yeah.
know like some averages, maybe
Yeah,
some
yeah.
whatever. I'm like, you know what?
Database.
If you just send me over like the pre-investment like sheet, whatever, I'll look at it. And he goes, once you pay the $500, you're inside the family. We'll send you all the
Oh
materials.
my God.
And I'm like,
This stinks.
yeah. I'm like, oh man, no, sorry. Then he got mad at me
Of course.
in front of everyone. It was like,
Perfect.
this guy doesn't fucking get it. This guy doesn't get it. And I'm like, no, I think I get it, my man.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
like,
I'm going to call the cops.
I'm gonna hop in my very comfortable life car and
Yeah.
drive home, and
Yeah.
like life's good, thanks.
Yeah.
And then that
so
happened.
funny.
A few years later, I'm working with this older gentleman at the airport, and we work there every day. We see each other a lot, and we're talking. He's like, man, like, I know you're working the business and stuff. He's like, I got an idea, and I was like, oh man, I was like, great. I was like, but it's like you're giving me flashbacks to like way back when, I got invited to this like pyramid scheme and all that. And he's like, oh, that's hilarious. I was like, yeah. It's like you want to sit down one-on-one at a Tim's and talk about an idea you have. What's it about? And I forget what it was, but it was something like accounting software.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? Or it was something legitimate. And I kept on making jokes. I was like, oh, as long as it's not like a
Unless you're not
pyramid
trying to
scheme.
sell me a
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Yeah, and he's like, oh man, I'd never do that. And I was like, cool. I was like, all right, after work, let's go get a coffee. And we go after work, we sit down.
He's dressed as a pyramid.
He literally lays out the scheme. And I was like, oh no, man. I was like, are you serious? I
Yeah.
was like,
Oh.
no, man. Like, come on. And
Yeah.
He's like, I know. He's like, I know.
He's like, I'm about to sell my house.
He's like, but you can actually make money doing it. And he has a good point is
yeah.
if you get into the pyramid and you push far enough,
Yeah.
you can make money.
But that's the problem is that they sell it to usually like single moms or new immigrants, all
Mm-hmm.
these people that don't have the same amount of time and effort to put in, and they make them pay the $500 entry fee, and then
they pay
they
their
have to like the week or the monthly fee, and then if they don't sell enough, they have to spend like it's terrible.
Yeah, then they make their commissions off of anything they do sell, and the bigger their team
Yeah.
is, the more money they get from their. And I was just like, anyway, but I guess our bond is like that. But the thing is, if you can get deep enough into it, you can make money. It's not like the
Yeah.
people you see doing it.
Well, are any of these? I mean, because I know with a lot of these things, like the products, people may not believe in them or like they're not really relevant. But like, are any of these companies that are doing multi-level marketing, do they have a good product that these people can
Yeah,
get
I think
behind
the
as well?
concept is good. It just
sure.
it's just the mechanism that they use to sell people is
It's
a bit
questionable.
it's
Is questionable,
manipulative.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Going back to Instagram though,
Yeah.
you made me think of a couple more questions about people just reaching out to you
Mhm.
through Instagram. Like right now, my Instagram, I've been getting follows a lot
Mhm.
and message requests
Okay.
from like sports betting or like sports
Oh,
picks
yeah.
accounts. And I don't know why. I don't know what I did recently to attract this attention.
Yeah, totally.
But anyways, like they're sending me direct messages plus like commenting on my pictures and stuff. Do you think those are also good ways of going about growing your following? Like, do you message other accounts that you think are doing a good job,
Ooh.
or do you comment on a lot of photos and stuff and follow these accounts to try and engage following within like a community?
That's such a
of-
great
of
question.
people that you're going
Yeah.
after, right?
Such a good question. And yes, 100%. I would say with like the games and bets, that's probably they're just doing a numbers game where they're like flooding whoever's profile is like between like 18 and 29 and they're just like flooding profiles. But I would say like in my specific case, so like I do environmental sustainability. I really care about like lifestyle, wellness, all these different things. And I kind of started, especially once I used the hashtags and other people's accounts that started to come up that were like promoting similar things or talking about similar topics, I found a lot of really similar accounts that I really, really liked. And I obviously started to follow them as well, regardless of whether they had like a few hundred or a few 100,000 followers. And yeah, I definitely engage with all of their stuff. And I'm actually part of a small kind of like Instagram bubble, or I don't know what they're called, like a group.
Yeah.
And it's called like the Sustainability Squad. So nerdy, but it's like 20 accounts. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's like 10 accounts or a dozen accounts where all of them are in line with the kind of the same stuff that I'm doing. But some of them are from Belgium. Others are from like the UK, like just all over the world. And we kind of just tell each other, hey, I posted this new thing. I'm talking about thrifting or I'm doing this. And it's kind of like, it's not really judgmental. Like you don't have to comment and post and do whatever every single time. But it's a really
Yeah.
nice kind of like support group because I do find myself naturally gravitating to their content anyways, because I either followed them before or I do because of this. And yeah, it really helps a lot, honestly, because you do kind of build these fun little friendships with people over line. Like I know this one girl from Hawaii, and her and I really like, I don't know, get along seems a bit of a stretch. So we never met in person, but I really love the stuff that she puts out. She's so kind on all of my pictures. And we kind of have this like funny kind of like Instagram bond now that like we'll DM each other if we have a question or whatever. And I have this other friend that's from, I think she's from Denmark. But yeah, I found that it not only like genuinely grows my community, because I'm not really going to comment and like on pictures that I don't actually find like engaging. Like nobody really likes things if they don't actually like them. That's the whole purpose of the function of the Instagram. But it does help to genuinely build a community of people, and I've found a lot of success that way. That's why I think I also get so many comments and stuff too.
Doing what you mentioned, like the sports betting companies.
Yeah.
For Riss and Rye, we
Yeah.
actually
But the wrong way,
paid.
you think?
This was years ago, before Instagram really cleaned up their
Bots.
not their bots, but their algorithms. And third-party companies, they got rid of a lot of third-party companies that were able to automate certain functions like liking, commenting, following, unfollowing. So we used to pay a guy to grow our jewelry Instagram. And what he would do is he had an automated service that would automatically follow people that, you know, whether they followed you would put in
Another
a list
jewelry
of,
company or
another
whatever.
jewelry company, hashtags, anything. It would find those people. It would follow them. And then with some sort of frequency, you'd set the timeline. It would scrape all the people that didn't follow you back.
I definitely still get stuff like that where
Right.
I'll have people follow me that have like 350,000 subscribers, and they'll be like, I'm a sustainable whatever, and then I like realize that their content isn't super great,
Yeah.
and I won't follow them back, and then like within the day they've unfollowed me again.
Yes, and then you can also set it in the more extreme cases. You can set it to just unfollow everybody. So
So you get that nice differential
yeah,
on your
and then on top of that, we had it so it automatically liked and commented on pictures with certain hashtags,
Wow.
jewelry, whatever. So
That's
all this
crazy.
was automated, and it still exists today. It's a lot. It's a lot harder to find automated services that will do it, because a lot of times Instagram's got rid of those services, but there's still companies that offer people that will do that for you, that will manage your account, or I think they still automate it. They just don't advertise that they
Right.
do, because Instagram will shut them down. So when you're getting those follows routinely, those comments that seem kind of fake and
Mhm.
unrelated, like, hey, love to collab.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. Or like a crap ton of emojis or just
it's
like
automated,
cute.
and
Mhm.
it does work to a degree. We grew to 5,000 or 6,000 followers, but they are the least engaging, worst followers you could possibly have.
Shout out to the Wrist and Rye followers.
care nothing about what you post.
Yeah.
Like the only followers,
numbers.
the
They're
only
just-
followers that were worthwhile were the friends that followed us back and the friends of their friends that saw it and engaged. But
Shout out to when Robbie and I were in a Wrist and Rye commercial together, remember? For Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day one.
About that, yeah.
So I don't think that works. I think genuinely, personally finding accounts that you like,
Mhm.
that you can create those relationships with, sure.
Yeah. To be honest, I probably could have grown my account much faster if I kind of gave into a lot of those things where you just kind of
Yeah.
like follow bomb like a bunch of people and then unfollow and whatever. But I've kind of really enjoyed the pace that my stuff has been growing, and I really like being able to actually individually reply to all my
Yeah.
messages, and I like how many people I follow. I don't like if accounts follow me, that even if they are kind of sustainably minded and even if they have way more followers than me, like I don't feel obligated to follow them back if I don't really like what they're pushing out, you know what I mean? I really want to make my feed something that like mentally I can actually like feel good about. I don't want to just like follow people to make myself feel better, and if they end up unfollowing me, then that's on them. Like I don't care.
That's another question that I was going to ask is at what point is it okay to start unfollowing accounts or to be like, okay, you know what, my content is good enough really that like,
No,
but why'd you start following them in the first place? If you're
Yeah.
following them just to unfollow them to get and hope that they don't notice, I don't really think that's like a super great way to build a consistent, like an actual community of people that care about what you're doing. If you
I
want to
think the
follow
ratio
someone,
doesn't fucking matter.
no,
Yeah.
I guess, well, if you want to be engaged within the stuff that you're following, you can only like, there's a threshold of like
Right.
amount of stuff that you can actually
Yeah.
go through and comment and like and stuff, and then that number you got to stop at some point of like
Yeah.
following every
I think
account.
yeah, once you're following like a few thousand people, I think it's fine to start pulling away the accounts that are unrelated,
Yeah.
even if they're friends.
I just
and
don't think
stuff.
that like that type of technique really
Well, 'cause you
like
wanna
builds
engage.
an engaging community. If you're just following people to get the numbers up, then like why do you even want followers in the first place?
No, I'm
if you
talking
want
about
people to be
so
on
we
your
follow
page,
back all of our friends,
right?
and we engage with them from the Johnny Famous Instagram account and stuff like
Right.
that. But there's definitely going to come a point where, and I'm sorry, when people follow us, like you said, if they're doing something music related or
Mhm.
something cool in photography or something
Yeah.
like that, I'll usually follow them back. Or
Totally.
if they have any mutual friends, like a group
Right.
of mutual friends, I'm like, oh, they're a friend of a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Follow them back. But at some point, we're going to reach a threshold where
Your feed's just gonna be blown up.
it's going to be blown up, and we can't really engage with
yeah.
uh,
And it's also just
the
not
community.
necessary to. I think at the beginning I did that a little bit too, where I felt like nobody would want to engage with my stuff unless I followed them back. And I think that just goes to a self-worth thing again, where you like, you don't feel like your stuff is valuable enough. And I don't think you always have to follow people back just because they followed you. Like I really care about being more mindful about the time that I'm spending online now. So if I'm just following somebody back to make myself, because I'm worried that they're going to unfollow me, I'm like, I have to let that go. You know what I mean?
True.
Like it can't be
Yeah.
this like nervous, like, oh, well, why would they stay following me if I don't follow them back? It's like, because your shit is dope, and because
Yeah.
you believe in what you're putting out. Your guys' music is
That's
great. It's a
fair.
great medium to be able to let people know about your shows, let people know what you guys are about, let people know about your new covers or your new drops, like whatever. And that's I think cool enough. I don't think you have to follow somebody back just because they did you the favor of following you. And that's how I felt at the beginning. And I think that's why I also struggled so much with self-doubt and imposter syndrome, because I was like, oh, this person's my friend, or I met them at a party and now I have to follow them back because of
Mhm.
whatever. It's like,
yeah.
if I like what they're doing, sure. But like, I don't think we have to have this like nervous, like tit for tat relationship with everyone just because we know them. If you really like what they're doing, that's a different story. But I don't think we have to have like a guilty.
I know, but the
you
thing
know
is,
what I
like,
mean? It is hard.
Yeah,
I
it's hard
understand,
because
especially at the beginning.
especially the beginning. But
But my stuff is so sustainable, and like I really want to have my feed also filled with cool things so that I know, like I get inspiration.
Mhm.
When I have people that are just like like posting pictures of them partying and wherever, I'm like, this isn't really like fulfilling me in a way that I need for my Instagram. Like on my personal account, I still
Robin,
follow
I
all my
love
friends.
pictures of people partying and
Yeah,
stuff.
I know you do. Well, then keep all those people.
No, that's a good question. I think that like that pretty much the whole Instagram picture, right? How often to post, replying to comments, engaging,
Yeah.
finding other people to build your community with.
Mm-hmm.
not like automated styles, but like finding those people, commenting on their shit, following them, because that's all the people did for us. When we started putting hashtags on, they found us and they're like, this is dope.
Right.
Oh shit. Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
And now we have all these commenters we don't know, followers we don't know.
Right.
And if we like their shit, we follow back.
Yeah.
We have a lot of messages. So the hashtags, the frequency,
Yeah.
the responding to comments, engaging the community.
But I just think it needs to come from a genuine place. Like, I think you really need to understand, like, what do you even want Instagram to be doing? You want it to be able to express your gratitude for the community that comes out to your shows every single time. You want it to be able to reach more people that can do that same thing, that align with what you're doing and like your music and whatever. But it can't just be like, oh, I want to do it so I can get famous. Like, it can't be based in like
Well,
this shallow ego stuff. As much as you want, I know you
getting
make a joke about getting famous, but I just mean,
it's not a joke.
I know it's not a joke. I'm just saying, like,
I argue that the getting famous thing isn't shallow. That's my argument.
okay.
I think it's a totally valid argument.
I'm not saying it's a valid argument. I'm just saying to engage genuinely with a community needs to come from a genuine place. And I think people will smell if you're just doing it to blow up and to move past all these people. Like, it needs to come with gratitude and with a little humility.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. You can still
that's what
want to
people
be famous.
attach to getting famous. I'm saying famous is a mark of success for
And it doesn't
musicians.
happen without the people that followed you from the beginning. And that's all I'm saying.
What sometimes we get these arguments. I don't even know what the
We're
fuck
not even arguing.
Yeah, like, what do we even like? Anyway, sorry, I was just summarizing the techniques. So the frequency of posting, the responding to comments, the hashtags, engaging with the community, the quality of content. In terms of how many people you follow and like, I like the idea of the imposter syndrome. You know, realistically, like you said, if you like what they're doing, follow them back. Don't feel obligated to not follow them back. If it's not quite on point, they're interested in what you're doing, and if they're not, they'll unfollow you, and then it was a mistake from the beginning.
Totally.
In terms of the quality of the message, getting famous is, I don't think it's as vain of a goal as people make it out to be. Getting famous at all costs is bad, the same way getting
Right.
successful at all costs or getting rich for no reasons. I think people attach all these negative connotations to making money, to getting famous.
To
like
making
it's-
money for sure.
Like it's automatically bad. But when I genuinely say I want to get famous, what's behind that is I want to be successful at something I love, where the mark of success is exposure and fame. And I don't want to step on anyone to get there, and I want to make good quality music, but people fill in their own picture of fame.
It's sullied by like a lot of ego and a lot of like
It's true.
treating people poorly.
The same way if you say I want to get rich, people go, oh,
you greedy.
you greedy
yeah.
fuck. It's like, shut up.
Like, you're
I want
so
to send my kids to
shallow.
Yeah.
private school.
All you want
Like,
is money.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You know, it's like, I want to be able to go on vacation. I
Yeah.
want to do fun stuff.
Totally.
I want to like
So people
live a
tiptoe around it.
comfortable
Oh, I
life.
don't want to be famous. I just want to just like get my music to as many people. It's like, you're the fake liar. Shut the fuck
Well, I mean,
up.
some people do just want to play music and don't care about fame.
Oh
But
yeah,
I think,
yeah, for sure. Like
but I think
Robbie
people
when
that
he's
are, like,
fucking in his room, just lost
just
in his pedal
diddling his
board,
guitars.
diddling his guitar.
But also, even the person who believes in that the most, they still get a bit of a thrill or enjoyment out of
Oh, yeah.
having like one or
No,
two
there's
people
some
show up.
purists though. There's some purists.
You think so? Come on, like they would be, their career would be over so quickly because they wouldn't be able to handle the absolute depress
I think there's some.
the depressing nature of it, of like not having anyone follow their music,
Sure.
or not having any sort of mark of success
Right.
within their career
it's
or
hard not
talent,
to have a little
right?
bit of like people acknowledging that you're on the right track.
No,
That's for sure.
what I'm saying was, I think there's tons of people like that are hobbyists. You're talking about hobbyists, right? Like, because they're gonna have to do something else to make money
Yeah, but also
if they're not trying to become successful at what they're doing.
No, they want to be successful, except within like a very niche group, and I mean, you know what? I think that the day and age of that is kind of past, of where like people are talk about, you know, whether it's like that's a sellout move or just because, you know, like making minimal amounts of money in music these days is so extremely hard. And you have to look for all these outlets, whether it is like putting your music in a commercial or movie or something that
Like Jeremy Renner.
equates to a little bit
No,
of.
I think it's hilarious
monetary
when like
reward.
a successful artist is just like, oh, like I just like, oh, I want to get back to like the garage, man, and like get out of all this, like fucking whatever, dude. Like, we get it. We get it. Like
Mhm.
once you like there's I think there's purists like Jack White or whatever that will do weird stuff, but I don't think anyone discounts
he's
the
world
success.
famous.
Exactly. I don't think anyone like that would trade that for anything. But I want to talk about before we wrap this up. I want to talk about our show this weekend, which was fucking wild.
Show is dope.
I wish I
know.
could have been there.
So Rob sends us a text last weekend, and he's like, "Yo, boys, we just got a last minute request for a show. Night Owl. Do you think we can make it? Like, I'm flying in Saturday morning. Like, let's rock it." All the guys were like, "Yeah." Like, it took so much work to prepare for the show last time. It's like
Right.
2.5 hours of straight music,
Mm.
and all that shit. So that's like 30 songs. It's so many songs.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, I guess, if you're back Saturday morning, like, that should be enough time, like, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I didn't tell you, my flight got delayed like an hour too, eh?
Yeah. Well, on top of that,
I was supposed to be back earlier than I
but on
was.
top of that, by flying in Saturday morning, Rob means he's leaving Florida at 10:30 or 11:30.
I left at 11:30.
Yeah.
Robert.
And he got home at 3 p.m.
Right.
And
Exhausted. Oh, that's pretty
he'll
good.
get tons of sleep on his trip. But
So many
on
Z's.
top of that, so the guy's like, yeah, a full day of practicing, thinking like, you fly in Saturday morning, maybe you land at 10:30.
Yeah.
We get practicing by noon at the latest, and we
Yeah.
do 6 hours of practicing.
Who are we? Kevin LeBlanc? Getting up. Just joking. I love you, Kev.
Just roasted producer Kev
No,
right
I
there.
love Kev.
But no, so Robbie reveals on Monday when we talk on the phone that he's actually landing Saturday afternoon. And I go, okay. I'm now starting to stress a little bit. I'm like, great. You're going to need to put in the time this week on guitar. Do you have access to guitar? Anything? Like, you got to practice. There's so many solos and shit and stuff like that. He's like, nah, I'm feeling pretty confident. I've been playing a lot of guitar. I'm like, you've been playing a lot of not those songs.
Mhm.
Like, how are you going to practice those very specific things?
Right.
He's like, Dad, I'm good. I got it.
I love that confidence, by the way.
Yeah. So what the rest of us did was panic, and we got together and we practiced for like 6 hours on Thursday. We did 3 hours with Rob on Saturday. On Friday, I spent the entire evening listening to the set, going through it, going over and over, and remembering all these fucking lyrics and all that stuff. But Robbie flew in Saturday aft. Dick's still a little hard from his trip. Came in swinging it at this place, and we
Nice and sun-kissed.
we nailed it.
Unreal.
And we didn't invite many friends because we're like, this might be a bad show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all these strangers there went wild.
Yeah.
This is a highlight.
The
of
videos looked unreal.
It was wild. I mean, they went fucking nuts. Scott, our bassist,
Hi, Scott.
got crowd surfed while playing bass
So sick.
on his back, still playing.
Yeah.
And he's a bigger dude.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
he almost, I could see him about to get dropped. And I'm
Right.
like, this is the worst thing that's about to happen.
Right.
Some hero, I think it was one of Gabe's friends, came up underneath him, heroed him, and just took the weight, shoved him back towards the stage. He flew at me like chest flying,
Missile.
hits the mic stand
Yeah.
right into my face.
Perfect. That's amazing.
Luckily, I had my mouth closed. And these big suckers.
For once.
Shit, any of those teeth.
These big suckers
Yeah.
cushion the entire blow, or else I would have lost teeth. Don't have dental insurance.
You don't have any insurance.
I have no insurance. That was wild. People were going fucking nuts though, like mosh pits. There was other crowd surfers, people on shoulders.
Yeah.
And can I reiterate, this isn't even one of our like shows. This was a cover
Yeah, cover set.
set.
I know.
So awesome.
It was wild. It kind of reminded me of Norris's party that
But
we
with
that we did.
strangers.
But with strangers, like Norris's party, they were all like very supportive and there
Yeah.
to see
And
us.
they know you guys.
Or I mean, I don't want to take away. There to see Norris, but like also like they all
But
they all
music
knew us.
wise, yeah.
But music wise, yeah. But these guys were all strangers, and there was a similar energy within the room, and
So
like
cool.
it got me thinking. I'm like, is every show at Night Out like this? Like I
Right.
gotta go
we have
do
to see other bands to see if they
I gotta go do
fire
some
Yeah, you
people up
homework.
as
should.
much.
Yeah, you guys should. I'll
see
come
if,
with
like,
you.
The crowds
We'll do
get
some
that rowdy,
recon.
'cause it's got me curious now whether it's us up there, doing our thing,
Mhm.
or whether it's
we might just have
Night
that
Owl.
rock star shit, dude.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Follow for follow. Like for
Also,
like.
there was a couple weird cats there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was that one guy who was like putting spells on your?
Yeah, there's a guy like casting spells on
Oh my
my
God, I
pedal
love
board.
that.
I gotta do.
You gotta-
I need Jackie. I need Jackie to fill us in. But what he was saying. But Jackie was killing herself. Like this guy, I don't know. This guy was so wasted. He was standing there in front of my pedal board, like with his arm out like this. it was
Feeling
weird.
the
It
vibe.
was weird. And then he made some comment about about one of the pedals on the board, like you need to know how to work this or use this, whatever. And then Jackie was killing
Be
herself.
careful of this one.
Yeah. So I'm
Someone's
like,
got
I
that
don't know.
energy.
It was such a weird.
That's amazing.
There was
Pretty funny,
that we also invited someone from the audience to come up and sing too. People were buying us shots. It was like a real nice night.
So cool.
So fun, yeah.
AP'd late. The other thing though, unfortunately, that morning, the morning of the show, while Robbie was flying, doing whatever he's doing, I went and played flag football or touch football
Oh,
outside with my brother-in-law and his friends for a birthday thing, annual tradition, and I'm gonna lose my big toenail.
Yeah.
She gone black.
She gone.
I just was wearing 2 pairs of socks in the cleats, and I think the pressure might have got to it. A couple stops and
Unfortunate.
starts.
I don't want to emphasize enough how much he's been talking about his toe in the past 2 days.
I'm sorry.
You've been Googling it. I had to call my friend Mateo and put him on speakerphone, who also had a toe-related injury in the past year, to see his advice.
Do you know how scary it is?
I know. I'm just saying, you're not losing your foot. Your toenail's going to fall off. Nobody looks at your toes anyways.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, thanks.
This
No.
is actually the best season. If it was flip-flop season, you'd get roasted. At least
You
you're
think
in
aesthetically I'm worried?
Oh,
My
yeah.
toes are fucking freak shows already.
right.
I'm worried about the.
It's not going to make it
large
any
talent.
worse.
I'm worried about the pain of
I
my
thought it was-
toenail is separating
Oh.
from my toe right now, and
I
it's
actually thought it
killing
was
me.
purely aesthetics that you were worried about.
My feet are gross.
Guy cares
Yeah.
so much about his
I
toes.
know, he's so insecure about his feet.
You honestly misread almost everything I do. like
Just pressing buttons over here.
you guys like
Pressing
consistently.
toenails.
No, I'm worried about the pain and discomfort I'm going to be in. Apparently, it takes weeks to fall off
And months to grow back.
and 6 months to grow back. And during that 6 months, is it painful? Is it protected?
I don't think it's painful.
Why do we have nails to begin with?
That's the question.
What do
Right?
nails do, right?
I think it's going to be painful.
Their maintenance, like
I
I'd
don't think
rather
it
just
A
won't-
guy at my hockey last
I'll tell
night
you
said it
this
was
right
the
now.
most painful thing that ever happened to him.
Okay, well, that guy's lived a cushion life.
No, he's like broken things. He's a snowboarder and like
I think to fall off, it's probably going to be painful. I don't think growing back, it's going to be painful.
no, not growing back, but maybe the bare area.
Yeah,
But
we're here for you. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I feel so attacked when we have these podcasts where you two fucking
Gang up.
gang up and shit, gang of youths.
gang.
But
I don't know why I felt the need to say that.
All right, Rob's done.
but that's
Yeah.
everything. Thanks for giving us Insta advice.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you guys.
Follow
Excited.
the greener good.
Yeah, please.
Mhm.
The.greener.good.
Follow Johnny Famous. Johnny Famous good.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll see you next Tuesday.